Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woo-hoo!
You is right.
Woohoo!
It is definitely Hump Day.
Yeah.
And you're listening to the Wednesday Hump Day edition of the Golf Show with James Stanley.
Hey.
Welcome, James.
Hey, Frank, it's good to be here.
Yes.
Feels
Yes.
like December this week for some reason. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yay.
My wife,
After
wife
last
this
week, it
morning-
was like, man, are we ever going to get winter? And
she says, whoa. I told her last night it was going to be kind of chilly this
a little
morning.
chilly willy this morning.
We got up and she said, whoa, what is this? And I said, you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till tomorrow morning. And yeah, so tomorrow will be put a little frost on the pumpkin tomorrow.
Just
I think.
a little bit.
Yeah, that's all right. It's good. Make you appreciate, July.
You appreciate July. There's no appreciating the summer here. Are you kidding me? Anyway, well, it's good to be here.
Yes.
And, the weather's nice. Today would have been a nice day to play golf.
A good day to play hooky and hit the links, huh?
Yeah, it reminds me of my old roommate Dave. This guy was a Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputy, and we rented a house. He and I and another guy, and he would come. He'd work like one of those weird shifts where he got off at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and he'd come home and he's still a little wired from work, and he'd wake me up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. James, get up. We gotta do something. Let's do something. I gotta go to work in like 3 hours. He's like, no, do this. Go. So I go. He goes, oh yeah, you're sick. You got to call in. He goes, you shouldn't be going to work in this condition. I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
So you wanted somebody to play hooky with.
Yeah, he wanted somebody to play hooky with. So, oh my goodness,
great. It's too funny.
Yep.
So what's he doing now?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in several years. I'm not sure if he's still with the sheriff's department down there, or if he's moved along, or where he ever wound up. But those were the days.
Yeah,
man, that was almost 30 years ago. Wow.
Good.
Actually, it was 30 years ago.
He's probably retired.
He might be.
Yeah,
a lot closer to retirement than I am. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never going to see retirement. Retire to what? What am I going to do?
You really? What am I going to do? It's like I've seen those shirts. My dad had a shirt that says, "I'm not tired, I'm retired."
That's right. That's what.
Then I saw one this past weekend that said, "I'm retired. Don't ask me to do a darn thing."
Been there, done that.
So somewhere down the line,
got the T-shirt.
Yep. I retired and all I got was this crappy T-shirt with a picture of a watch.
And who uses watches anymore anyways, right? You get your
it's all on your phone.
Yeah, it's all on your phone.
Now they're not even called watches anymore. They don't like to call them watches. They like to call them
timepieces.
It's a timepiece. and now you have to match it with whatever you're wearing.
Oh, God.
Like,
really?
Just put the stupid thing on already.
Ding.
Oh God. Yeah, my I've got I think I have like 3 watches. I could tell you where 2 of them are, but one of them I have no clue where it is. But
whoops.
And it has the date. One of them has the date down
right
over there.
Right.
And it's so small.
How small is it?
It is so small you can't see it. And I'm like, what use is this?
So in your other pocket, you got a magnifying glass.
Exactly. Yeah,
so you can read your
I need one
watch.
of those jeweler's loops to look at. Today's the 21st. Okay. No, wait. I haven't set this for 3 months. I'm 3 days behind. all those 30 day months messed up my watch.
God. I know.
It takes you like 4 years to get it back on time. And it's only right for a month.
Been there, done that.
Yep. Well, they gave out some awards.
They did
this past week.
For what, pray tell?
They named the men's and women's golfer of the year
Mhm.
with their season. Brooks Koepka, kind of an obvious choice. Won 2 majors, so kind of sounds good. I mean, he won the U.S. Open and the PGA Championship, so that makes sense. And Araya Yuntanugarn was named the ladies golfer of the year. She won the U.S. Women's Open and had a pretty good season. So congratulations to the two of them.
Congratulations indeed.
Yeah. So Arlen rolled in here. I know you Hawaiian guys aren't used to being out in this kind of weather. So
he's on Hawaiian time, right?
I have been on Hawaiian time my whole life. My wife will tell you.
There you go.
I'm going to be late for my own funeral.
I once remember the old Benny Hill show.
I do. Unfortunately, but yes.
They had a skit one time or something where they're all standing around. It's like they're in the cemetery and they're all kind of like standing around. They're all looking at their watches. And it's like, what the heck? What's going on here? But all of a sudden, here comes this old guy comes wandering up in like this. He's got this long robe or something on, and he's like looking at everybody. He's like, sorry. He opens the casket and he climbs in. And just
he's late for his funeral.
It was like, oh my god.
Benny Hill. Wow. Hey, whatever it takes sometimes.
That's right.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
We're doing well. How about you?
Outstanding. Pretty good. Nice little chilly weather.
Oh, I'm loving it.
Crack open the windows.
Yeah, I wish I could open the windows in my office. My office is upstairs, and I'm right near the computer server room.
Okay.
So all the heat coming off the computers comes into my office,
Yes.
and they don't push much air up there, and the sun bakes the roof, and it's about a good. It's probably 10 degrees warmer than the rest of the office when you go downstairs. I'm like, can we push some air up the hallway here or up the stairway? It would be nice.
Right.
So yeah, today would have been a great day if my
So if you
windows would
take
open.
your office deck chair and throw your desk chair through the window,
Oh, okay.
it will cool the room down in a New York
Immensely.
minute.
Okay. I'll have to remember that. I'll try that.
Maybe on your last day at work.
Yeah, there you go. When I retire.
Yeah.
On my way out the door. Oh my goodness. Well, obviously some sad news in the news, the passing of George H.W.
yes,
Bush.
For sure.
I did not see any of the funeral today, but I understand that
I listened to a big part of it on the radio.
I understand it was a pretty a friend of mine who's never been a big Bush fan had some very nice things to say about what George W. Bush had said in the eulogy. So that was that had to be tough to get through.
As a son?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean
brutal.
that had to be tough to get through. I mean, here you are. You've got to maintain this
Demeanor,
this demeanor, and
Yeah.
you've just lost your father. So
A lot of people don't know how connected the Bush family was to golf.
Oh, yeah.
Historically, from
yeah.
it was his grandfather Walker, right?
Yeah.
Like from the whole Walker Cup, and
Yep.
I was watching. It's interesting when you watch family histories, and there was a whole feature on Kenny Bunkport, having having the family's vacation in Maine and how sporting they are and all the history of it. But yeah, golf was a big part of the Bush family. No one's really great at it. I don't think anybody's really been great at games.
They're better than Gerald Ford was, though.
Well, I think Frank's better than Gerald Ford. Frank doesn't
Gerald
play.
Ford is dead.
But when Gerald Ford played golf,
yeah.
You think the squirrels run for cover when you play?
He hit a lot of bad shots. Didn't he?
He hit some people in some of those events
in
that
the gallery,
it was not pretty.
You figured being a
he was an athlete.
He
played
was.
for Michigan.
Played
University.
Michigan football. Yeah.
Well, he must have been a hard head and just didn't want to take lessons or whatever. But
yeah, he was really probably out of all our most recent presidents, he was probably the most athletic.
Did you see the interview with George Bush? It's a really cute interview, and they're talking about his life with Barbara. It's an older interview, but within the last couple of years, and they're talking about different things and what a great man he was, and she's saying all these things, and he whispers over, "I was a really good athlete too. Don't forget, and he was,
throw that in there.
Well, he played football at Yale, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was good at it. He wasn't just like. He was like one of their star players. So, but it's always funny, right? Yale, it's like a lot a lot of ivy there growing in that family.
Oh, yeah.
So smart people,
Yeah.
very smart, very successful, but always had a nice demeanor. It's been really good to
Yeah.
a game of golf.
Yeah.
So,
And he was, I follow Jack Nicklaus is one of the guys I follow on Instagram, and Jack wrote a very nice glowing tribute
mhm.
to George Bush.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that at one of the first President's Cup events,
Right.
George was the captain, so honorary
Honorary
captain,
captain,
being
right.
the President's Cup. He was the president that was there.
Right.
And he said that on the last day when they were doing all the singles matches, he insisted on being out there to greet every group as they came to the first tee to play.
He wanted to do that.
He wanted to do that. And he said, not only is that pretty, that you want to do that, but it was like in a pretty steady rain that he did it in.
Oh,
and
so
he stood there in the cold, in the rain, and made sure
Made
that
sure he did that.
he
Yeah.
got to see every single one of the competitors and let them know that he appreciated them being there and playing for their country or playing for their, and everything else.
That's
so
very cool. That's a great story.
That's
Mhm.
telling, that he was a pretty good guy.
93 years old though. Long life.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. Yeah.
Long life. So
Absolutely. Couple of interesting stories. Of course, he's was the youngest pilot during World War II.
18
Oh, wow.
years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And when he was 20 years old, he got shot down, bailed out of his plane into the Pacific, right? Didn't think there was much of a chance of being rescued. And what pops up but a submarine? And they went about hauling him up, topside. And there was a camera. Wouldn't you know it? There was actually a working movie camera
Oh, wow.
on the sub. And they actually there's film footage of them hauling him up.
That's unusual in
it's
itself.
it's just
like bizarre
amazing.
that would be
Yeah.
there.
Talk about, picking the right place to crash land your plane after you get shut down. I mean,
But think about like that whole story. So I was, it's been on TV, so
Yeah.
I've been watching it
Yeah.
and little parts. So, here's this young man, incredibly, the family was already very successful at the
Mhm.
time, right? And they did not want him. The family did not want him to join the service. And if I'm not mistaken, what I was reading about is they had somebody in the Pentagon, like Secretary of State or Secretary of Navy or somebody that was going to keep him from like joining, and he did it anyway.
He lied in his application.
Right.
He lied about his age.
You're right. He did something like very unusual.
He got in a year or two before he was actually eligible.
so he was a politician before he was a politician.
He lied.
He just
You're
wanted
saying.
he wanted to do what he wanted to do in his way, and he did it. So, that's a pretty cool story in itself. But again, another one of those big golf supporting families.
Yeah.
Till this day. So.
And all roads seem to lead to the Stewart Martin County area, right?
Okay.
George Bush is no exception to that rule, in that his mother used to live in Hobe Sound,
Uh-huh.
and he would fly down here when he was president. And
See, I don't remember any of that,
Yeah.
but I wasn't
he
here
would,
yet, but
of course, he couldn't fly into Witham Field because it wasn't built for Air Force One at the
Yeah.
time. He'd fly into West Palm, and then they would shuttle him over. They'd chopper him over in Marine One, and but he would still go through the Stewart area
Oh,
to
cool.
get to his mom and visit with her.
that's a really good point, like
Yeah.
Frank just made. When you look at our little tiny spot in the world, right?
Yeah.
On how many people, famous, powerful, connected. I mean, Michael Jordan's building a course here. I mean, we've got what,
yeah.
80 tour players live here now. We got,
Yeah.
all kinds. It's just a cool, really cool place to live. It's far enough away from West Palm Beach, so you don't have to deal with that. And it has, again, we that live here wish Martin County would have more going on, but because Martin County is, conservative, and we don't have a lot of tall buildings, and we don't have a lot of, people bringing in too much development, it's actually a great place to live, especially for families of means and success, right? So it's kind of a cool place that way. That's why we have such, nice golf. I was just talking to somebody the other day about golf, and we have nice public golf in our area, right?
Mhm.
Between our four really good public tracks. And then Martin County, of course, and then a couple other ones. But, we have some of the best private clubs in the country. I mean, bar none, right in this little area, if you think about it,
Yeah.
And they're not that famous because I don't think they want to be.
Yeah. They want to lay a little low.
They do. I mean, we don't have that historical, Seminole's the most historic club. That's not in our area, but it's close, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's really nothing there's only a few places in the world where major rotations. I mean, I think, where Ballon Isles, PJ National, whatever that used to be when it was the JD MacArthur, it was when they had that could have been like a rotation course, but it never really got the hype that the big courses that we all know that we see the majors played on. But it's a cool little area. So if you get a chance, come visit and come visit. You can come take a golf lesson with me in my indoor studio, or come out to Eagle Marsh where we're opening our new academy this month. So that'll be some fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I was out there, played out there a few weeks ago.
Yeah, you told me, yeah.
Got a little bit going on out there. They're getting rid of the invasive crabgrass and stuff that had kind of grown in from a little bit of neglect.
Yep.
But they're got a new. In fact, they hired the it was a superintendent from Lob Lolly, I believe.
Right,
it was.
big private club. So actually, I wanted
Admiral's Cove. I'm sorry,
Admiral's Cove. I think you're right. But we mentioned this, and I mean, I live in Jensen Beach, so basically Eagle Marsh is very close to where I live.
It's a chip shot.
It's a chip shot. And as James I was the director of golf there when it used to be, was a very high end, incredibly maintained property, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like a lot of things, it's gone through some owners, it's gone through transitions. Now the guy, the gentleman who's running it is doing a great job. He's putting money back in. I think you're going to see a tremendous improvement in Eagle Marsh. Even from like an academy perspective, even when I tell people that I work with that I'm going to be, doing some things at Eagle Marsh, you know what their impression has been? Is it still bad? Is the grass still bad? Like they don't even want to go hit balls on the range.
That's not good.
No, because it wasn't being kept up to standard. And I said, no, it's going to be real good. So it's going to take a little time, but the pieces are put in place.
Yeah, and you also have to realize now is not the growing season.
No, you can never get it to look
so
perfect.
It's kind of you've got to get it in a great state before we get now. So it's going to take a little bit longer.
It's a year cycle
to get in, yeah.
And you got to get your fertilizers back right. You got to get your pre-emergence so you keep the weeds, just like lawns. If you don't take care of your lawn, I'm guilty. I go through phases with my lawn. My lawn's terrible now, but you're not going to grow it back nice this time of year. Now you can get some things. It's Florida. We still get we can still get grass to grow, but nothing like when we get that spring weather and the warm weather and the longer days and more rain. So I think
rain.
Well, not rain, but we get more moisture. Summertime. So I think I think this time next year, I think Eagle Marsh will be back to premier status in the area. So I think that's good for our community to have that.
Yeah.
So
I know that
the golf course really has matured a lot since because I haven't played out there that much at all, but it's a lot more grown in, stuff around it.
Yeah, I mean, I played out there back before they even started building houses, and it was really neat because every hole was kind of its own little entity.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't.
It was neat. That's
you didn't have everything running side by side.
Right.
There was none of that, and there still isn't. But now there's some homes that are there, and now, like you said, it's had a chance to mature some of the stuff that kind of barricades you from the houses and
are
stuff
bigger.
has grown in now. So
so
it makes a big difference.
Yeah. So it's if you haven't had a chance to play it, if you're out there listening, give them a call, tell them you heard it on our radio show, and if you want to work on your game, check things out. Yeah,
because Lost Lake was the same way. I remember when that first got built, played down there, and it was the same way. It was like, oh man, this is so neat.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it's you're out in the middle
by yourself,
out in the middle of nowhere,
private club,
and then they start building houses, and it's like. They kind of ruined it, and then you wait a little, wait 8 years, and things start growing back in again, and you get that buffer that you had before. There's houses behind those trees, but they're not
kind of hidden.
It kind of hides them. Yeah, they're not so glaring.
Yeah, that's good.
Kind of like when McElroy blew up at the Masters, and he hit it over there into the cottages on 10. I remember all the people going,
There's
"We
cottages?
had no idea there were cottages over
That's funny. It's true.
there."
No one, you don't even see them.
Back when they first built them, they were
found
probably
them.
jumped right out, but not anymore.
That's a good point. So
Oh my goodness. So yeah, Martin County's got some stuff going on. Martin County Golf Course. They're offering free lessons every week. If you're a member of their veterans get a free membership out there,
that's cool.
a free golf membership. They get some discounts and everything else, along with a free golf clinic every week. I believe it's every Wednesday. And if you've got one of their other memberships, which start at like $79 for the year, you also get the clinics as well. So it's not a bad way to do things.
come on, not a bad way. That's like an incredible way to get things
especially
started.
since that's the place you got with the $4 can of beer that was not very good.
Oh, that's gonna always irk me. Come play golf and walk a nice round for $7. And yes, I'd like a beer. That'll be $9.50. What? Or rather, charge me.
You thought it was Canadian money they were asking
Oh,
for,
it's
right?
killing me. Yeah. Hey, speaking about
Yeah, really?
Canadian,
Is that Canadian? No.
speaking about Canadian money, do you know where is one of the best places to go right now for golf?
What's that?
New Zealand.
Really?
New Zealand, the dollar is 1.5. So you get, an extra 50 cents.
Hey,
So
it's like getting half off on everything.
I got a guy I'm training, great guy, Canadian guy. He's down here, doing great. And he's telling me he's going to go to New Zealand for 4 months. And, you rent a flat and you play golf and in New Zealand, it's cold here. It's warm there, right?
Yeah, everything's different. Yeah.
So he said it's just tremendously affordable comparatively. And, so think about it. Everything you buy is half off almost.
Yeah,
Well,
or
not
third
half
off. Yeah, third off. Yeah.
Yeah. So he said it's awesome. So I never even thought about it, but
Yeah, I have a friend that I hadn't seen him. I think it was about 8 or 10 years last time I saw him. I keep up with him. He lives in Australia, and he and his wife and 3 kids came. They've been in the United States for 4 weeks now.
okay.
They're taking a 5-week vacation. They flew into LA, spent some time in LA on the West Coast, then flew to New York City, and then they drove down from New York City, and they were in Orlando for a week. And I went up and saw them on a Sunday, and then took Friday off work this past Friday and went up and spent another day and a half with them roaming around. It's interesting because my youngest daughter came up to UCF to see her friend and watch the volleyball game that was going on. Their two schools were playing one another, and UCF was ranked. And my daughter's school, which is Florida Gulf Coast University, their women's volleyball team upset the UCF team.
Wow.
Which was a big win for them.
Sure.
Because
Anytime
you beat a nationally ranked, top 10 nationally ranked team. That's pretty big news.
it is really big news.
And
Absolutely.
well, they came with us on Friday and roamed around the
Campus.
one of the theme parks.
Oh, theme parks. Yeah.
With the kids.
Oh.
And my buddy's kids are 8, 10, and 12.
Okay.
And it was funny because the two of them were like, "This is so much fun when you do this with kids. It's just so much neater."
They're
to
so
do.
excited.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, "Well, this is why I used to do this with you guys. When you guys were little, this was so much fun." I said,
As you got older,
as you got older, you kind of lost a little bit of interest. I said, that's why I came up, because I was like, oh, I get to do this with the kids again.
That's
this is fun.
That's
So we had it was a blast.
Do I hear music? Is that time, Frank?
Oh my goodness.
We got a bill to pay.
Exactly right.
What? We pay bills?
We make every earnest attempt.
There you go.
And we'll be right back, so stick with us.
We'll see you in a little bit.
Scurry. Well, maybe just a half a drink more. The neighbors might think, say, what's in this drink? I wish I knew how to break the spell. I ought to say no, no, no.
Mind if I move in?
At least I'm gonna say that I tried.
What's the sense of hurting my
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
That scene from Elf
Elf,
is so
it
funny.
cracks me up.
He sneaks. He's sitting on the counter in the bathroom.
And then he
she's
runs
taking a
into the
shower.
locker.
Yeah.
He doesn't- but it's a very, it's funny about like scenes like that.
Mhm.
When you look at actors, right, that we
Mhm.
see on TV, I mean, in the movies, TV, a lot of actors are very talented, trained musicians,
Oh, yeah.
singers,
Oh yeah.
dancers, and then all of a sudden you see some movie like that, and you see this actress which you just didn't think had that much talent, and then they start playing piano or singing a song, and you're like, oh my gosh, doesn't that sound amazing? And
Yeah.
you realize that they've got 15 years of classical singing, and they're extremely talented. So it's kind of cool.
Well, Hugh Jackman,
Right.
big actor, played
Sure.
Wolverine.
Yeah, absolutely.
His the latest movie that he has out is that The Greatest Showman, which is kind of a
Is that the P.T.
kind of a take
Barnum
on
one?
P.T. Barnum,
Right.
and it's a musical, and the music is excellent from
And
that.
he sings and
And
does
he
everything.
He sings and does everything, and from what I heard, he's going to go on tour
because he's so good at
as
that.
a singer and bring that music from
Broadway,
that
like
from
to
that
life.
from that on tour. It's like that's kind of neat.
It is kind of.
I mean, you don't think about, wow, he can sing.
That's a perfect example of. Did you see the movie with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga? It just came out.
Oh,
It's like the remake of with Barbara Streisand
yeah.
and Chris Christopherson. So
yeah,
I can't remember the name of the movie. I should know that. Star is Born.
The Star is Born.
Yeah.
Thanks, because I was racking my head. I'm going,
Right.
oh man, I know I'm supposed to know this.
But that's another example of you look at Bradley Cooper and you think he was really good in that movie. He really sang well and did a lot of really good things. So
Yeah.
it was kinda cool.
Wonder how many golfers could sing. I wonder if we could put together a good band.
None at all.
Good band from the
Zero.
from the PGA
There's
Tour.
none.
You don't think so?
No, there's Peter Jacobson tried. Don Daly's probably the best.
Yeah,
And
he
it's
can actually play guitar pretty well.
yeah,
Todd
but
Daly.
it's still not good though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good like it's John Daly. Oh, you're really good, but it's still not good. So, I'm sorry.
Don't quit your
tried a couple
don't quit your
times.
day job.
No, don't quit it. And no, was it? It was Jake and the
Jake and the Flounders.
or whatever it was.
Yeah,
But I mean, I can see that being fun. I mean, it's not bad. Look, no, I mean,
Yeah.
I just shouldn't say that, but it's not like Hootie and the Blowfish who plays great golf.
Yeah. There you go.
Darius Rucker loves his golf and loves his this and loves his that. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Well, you mentioned don't quit your day job. Ernie Els has not been all that great on tour of late. He's
Older.
winding. He's older. He's
Mhm.
winding down. Well, he's into golf course architecture now. He's designing golf courses and stuff. And
That's going to be a hoot.
and the event they played in the Afro-Asia Bank Meritus Open
Boy, that's a mouthful, huh?
in Ahita. They played at the Four Seasons golf course.
In Ahita, South Africa.
And Ernie designed the golf course there. So you would think Ernie would have maybe an advantage playing in this event. Not so much. He finished in 20th place, and he admitted that the tee shots don't fit his eye. They don't fit his game. He's very uncomfortable hitting off the tee. It's like, dude, you designed this golf course. Why didn't you design something you would like?
Okay, so let's dissect that for just a second. Let's dissect that for a second.
Yep.
So, Ernie Els is a really good, fun-loving guy.
Yep.
Course architect, not so much.
Maybe not so much.
Maybe not so much. Now, does Ernie Els have a big name in South Africa? I mean, can he look at a golf course and say what he likes and say what he doesn't like?
Yeah.
Well, when you hear a story like you just said,
Mm-hmm.
there's only one answer to that. Ernie Els did not design that golf course because if you're going to design a golf course right now, the traditional Nicklaus courses always had a lot of bailouts, right?
Yep.
Because Nicklaus was a high fade player, right? Don't you agree with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So Ernie Els, you would think that a designer would like to build a golf course around something that would suit their eye.
Yeah.
Because if it's something that you would go and play, you would like to enjoy playing a course you design.
Yeah.
So to come off and say that this golf course really doesn't suit my eye, and it's a course that you designed, leads me to the deduction that I don't think you spent a lot of time designing that golf course, did you now, Ernie?
You didn't put a lot of thought into it, at least.
I think you took a fat check and drove around a little bit and said, yeah, that looks great. Yeah. Can I cash this yet?
Put a mound over here and we'll put the green over there. Okay.
Oh my goodness
Yeah.
gracious. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe he did. But maybe he just figured that it's not about what I see, what I like. It's about what I think the golfers were like. So does it say anything on there about how the field thought the golf course, or
no? Did really they just kind of dabbled into what he was saying. Yeah.
So he finished tied for 20th, but I'm sure his schedule is much more family time now, and more. He's really involved with the autism foundation that he started, and he's done a lot for that. And you reach a point where the golf is just
golf, something to do.
Yeah, knock it around.
The if you remember back when the Dodgers trained up in Vero Beach, they had the little Dodgertown golf course that went around.
Oh, I love Dodgertown.
Little 9-hole golf course that went around.
I thought it was 18.
No, there was 9 holes around the golf course. There was another course like north and west of Dodgertown itself.
Okay.
It was Dodger Pines, I believe it was. That was an 18-hole course. That's the one that had the par 6. Long par 6 hole.
Okay, I'm thinking of that one.
But the one over by the stadium
was
only 9 holes, and it was originally built shortly after they first moved down here. And for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the Dodgers owner at the time. I know Walt Alston was their manager.
Double Days? Was it Double Days? It wasn't them.
You'd have to ask Greg Wyatt. Greg Wyatt would know. Yes.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but part of the reason he designed the golf course or had the golf course built
for the pitchers
was it was for the players.
Yeah.
And he did it because they had the cabins and all there, and the dorms, and the players would all stay on site. Well, he noticed that when they wanted to go play golf, they were driving down to Fort Pierce to play golf because there wasn't anywhere for them to play. And as the league became more integrated and they had a lot more African Americans playing, a lot of courses wouldn't let them play anywhere
back in the day.
So that was another reason why he built that golf course. He's like, I gotta have somewhere for all my players to play. And the story goes that he was out there playing with a couple of his buddies, and he noticed that one of his buddies, like you said, kept hitting a high fade to the right. Well, when they went out there to play a couple days later, there were bunkers suddenly in those spots where his buddy had been hitting the ball. So that he could win his money back. He could win his money back. So
that's funny. That's funny.
That's what you call creative land management.
Oh man, can you imagine that? You play golf with somebody on one day and you take a few bucks from them, and I want a rematch. All right, let's go. And you get out there and you're like, wait a minute.
There wasn't bunkers here the last time I played. There is now.
Something doesn't look right.
That's funny.
You hit your tee shot and you're like, I'm okay. I was over there yesterday.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna like it today.
That's too funny.
It's so it's so sad the Dodgers aren't in Dodgertown.
Yeah.
It really like.
I mean, I know why. We understand why and the whole thing, but man, that was such a cool thing. When my boys were born, they probably were like, I got pictures of it. My dad is a huge Dodgers fan from like all the way back to Brooklyn. Okay.
Oh wow.
And these, the stories I grew up with were, and again, think about this is Gila, Hawaii, right? And but Catholic family, St. Joseph's Parish, a lot of people from New York, priests and nuns, all over the world were there, right? But my dad grew up, the baseball card fanatic, the buying the cards and saving the cards and building. And then he taught me when we were a kid, they used to play this game where they put they create a baseball diamand on the table. You ever play that, Frank?
Yeah.
And you flip, you put your first guy up and you flick it. And then if he lands on a card, he's out. If he lands, he move him to first base. And, so our whole lives, we were told this. And my brother and I grew up with baseball cards playing the same game. Couldn't get my kids to do it. Didn't even know if they were baseball cards still available. But
they're still there. The
story I'm getting at is my dad was such a fan that even when he came to visit us, this is back when you and I were first getting to know each other. We took him to Dodger Town. He got to see spring training, got to sit in Holman Stadium, and he walked around that place like, look at this. This is where, because all his names of everybody.
Yeah, all that history went through there.
Yeah, dreams.
Yeah, he loved it. I got pictures with the Dodgers hat. It was awesome. So we got a good story with that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is a good story.
Well, we're gonna take a break
again.
Yeah, if you want
with the dollars,
if you want to join us, we got about 15 minutes left.
Call us.
Give us a holler, man.
I'll give you magic lessons over the phone.
220-9788 is the number. We'll be right back. That's it.
130 yards now.
Bill's got a very tough lie here.
Looks like we have some sort of sea monster in the water hazard here.
I believe that's a kraken, Bruce.
It looks like he's going to go with the 9-iron. That may not be enough club.
Well, he's definitely going to lose a stroke on this hole.
If you're...
All right, it's a little in reverse, but I did it. I got it in.
That's all right. Speaking of losing a stroke, how about gaining a stroke? Tiger Woods got his first hole-in-one in 20 years. Wow. At his event. They played the Tigers Hero World Challenge thing.
Oh, that was this weekend?
Yeah, they played that this past week. The Hero World Challenge. It was won by John Rahm. Finished at 20 under par. At one point going into the final round, he was tied with Tony Finau and a couple other guys and ended up winning this thing by 4. Shot 7 under on the final day.
4 under event? 4-day tournament?
Yep, 4-day tournament. Yep.
Now, this is the one that a couple years ago when Tiger was in oblivion, right? This is where he made his first comeback, right?
This was his first event back.
2 years ago? Was it 3? It must be 2.
No, it was 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he did. Remember, and he did actually pretty good in this event.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, that was oh look, he's pretty good. And then he went through the whole I can't chip.
Yeah, that was right before
The chili dipper.
He had a couple of really bad chips. Yeah,
But it sounds like Tim kept like he got the old chili dipper. Tiger got the chili dipper.
Not a bad event. I mean, if you played in this event, you were going to finish in the top 20.
There's only 20
There was
guys.
only 18 guys playing.
I like that.
So Tiger played in this event, and being the gracious and good host that he is, guess where he finished?
18.
17th.
17.
17th. Only one guy behind him was Hideki Matsuyama. Tiger finished at 1 under for the week. He was only a mere 19 shots off the lead. Boy. Ugh.
So, so you look at Tiger's game and you think how sharp he was. So obviously he must be doing like a lot of other things right now.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. I mean, he wasn't sharp when he played in the match with Phil.
No, it wasn't sharp at all.
Wasn't very sharp in this event. But hey,
hard to get motivated. As older you get and the more you got going on, it's really tough.
Yeah, especially you get this time of year. It's like you've got stuff to do with family for Thanksgiving. You've got the Christmas holidays coming up, or if you're Jewish, you have the Hanukkah's going on, and it just it makes it tough to get motivated to travel someplace and play four rounds of golf plus practice rounds plus pro-ams and everything else. It's
tough.
It's
tough.
I mean, a lot of people go, "Wow, how hard can that be?" Well,
it's hard.
It is hard. I mean,
you're away, you travel,
especially if you've got a family. I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah, no, it's not easy at all. But they're still playing golf, as you know.
Yep. Some other notables in this event: Justin Rose finished in 3rd. My buddy Ricky Fowler tied for 5th. Dustin Johnson was in 7th. Let's see. DeChambeau was 12th. He finished ahead of Bubba Watson. Actually, he finished tied with Bubba Watson and Justin Thomas.
Pretty good field, man.
That was a real good field. I mean, if you wanted to watch some real good golfers, I mean, this was not a bad event to go to. I guess
they're probably pretty loose and probably a fun golf tournament to watch.
Yeah. Let's see what else did they do this week? Let's see. Tiger was named a couple years ago the President's Cup captain for this year.
I remember that, right?
For this year.
Coming up. Yep.
A lot of people were thinking not a bad choice because his playing days are probably numbered and he's not, but after last year played pretty well, won an event finally for the first time in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's now saying that he wants to be a playing captain. He thinks he might be able to
get on the team,
earn his way onto the team. The last person to do that was Hale Irwin back in 1994.
That's quite a ways.
It's a little ways back.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the question. If you're Tiger Woods, do you pick yourself as a captain's pick if you don't earn your way on?
No. I would not say if you can't earn your way on, you can't put yourself in. That's just not when you're the captain, Now, I do think Tiger's going to win a major this year.
You think?
Yeah. Oh no, I think Tiger's going to shock the world. I think Tiger's going to win 2 majors.
Huh.
I do. I think he's going to win 2 majors, and the world's going to be upside down, and we're going to have about 2 more years of chasing Jack. And in the end, this is what's going to happen. He's going to tie Jack.
You think he's going to get that? You think he's going to win 4 more?
I think Cather will be sleeping with dogs.
I think he's going to tie Jack, and he'll go down. Those 2 will be the greatest golfers in history. You
won't have that argument of well, he won more majors than he did.
No, I think when you look at it, I mean, Tiger did for golf exactly what Arnie did and Jack did in their heyday. The only thing that Tiger, I will say about this. So Jack and Arnie made golf an American game, right? He brought it to the forefront of America, right?
Yeah.
Tiger brought it to the world.
Yeah.
And it's a very different model because of the time that he grew up.
Yeah.
Tiger being, multi-ethnic, right?
Yes.
Having the ability to transcend every culture on the planet. They said, up until and it's really sad when you look at what happened to him because he would have been the greatest recognized athlete of ever.
Yeah.
And his frailty came out in his way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he was on pace to do stuff that no one ever said. He was, when you start putting your name in with Muhammad Ali, and who
Yeah.
else? I mean, who is the most famous athletes in the world? He's right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every country you go to, if you say Tiger Woods, they know it's golf. If they know what golf is,
Yeah.
they know Tiger Woods.
Who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, in itself, that accomplishment is pretty amazing and hard to not give him the nod for that, role. But anyway,
now you talk about closing out a round. A lot of people they get a little tired. Maybe you stumble a little bit at the end of your round, or
right.
or maybe you're trying to pull off a couple of shots to make up some shots on your buddies, and it just doesn't happen. Well, Alex Noren at the end of the third round in this event at the Bahamas closed out with birdie, eagle, triple bogey, ace, and then a birdie.
That's crazy.
That's
bird, eagle, triple ace, bird.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's too bad he had the triple in there.
Oh, he was on. Yeah.
I mean, he would have been 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 under, and he threw the triple in there to kind of mess it all up. But it's like you say, it's a
golf is a crazy game.
How do you go birdie, eagle, and then triple a hole, and then hit your best shot of maybe a couple of years for an ace?
the cool part to that is coming off a triple and not hitting a bad one.
Yeah.
You got to look at the triple. Sometimes like people say, oh, he had a triple, and you kind of look at a triple and go, but I've watched pros make triples that were a foot off. Like they hit a great shot. They just didn't adjust for wind, and the ball was a foot short, hit a piling, take a terrible bounce. You get a horrible place to have to hack from. There's no drop area or something.
Yeah.
You throw it on the green and you three whack, you three putt, which is very, doable. And there's your triple.
Yeah.
Versus when we say triple, I think, okay, shank one off the tee, take a whiff, throw it in the bunker, chop out 2, bounce one off my head, and then kick it in and say, I got a triple.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really look like that for a tour player.
Yeah, really.
So.
What a visual that is, isn't it?
So, Frank, if you ever go to play golf, and if you ever playing against someone, right?
Yeah.
So there's 2 guys playing golf, and you say, the first guy says, what are you going to hit here? He says, I'm just going to take a 7 and hit it on the green, hope I make a birdie. The other guy says, well, I'm going to take a hooded 5 iron and skip across the water. I'm going to bounce it on that rock, and it's going to hit that sign. It's going to pop up in there, and it's going to go in the hole.
Wow.
Bet on the man with the plan, Frank. You bet on the man with the plan. That's how golf is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's going to Happy Gilmore it into the hole.
I think so. I was just thinking about it. Happy Gilmore. Absolutely.
Well, Ian Baker Finch, who won the Open Championship in 1991, donated his winning gold medal to the RNA charities, which they then auctioned off and got $50,000 towards their charities.
That's also nice for him.
So interesting that he would do that. I mean, that's
something you would probably keep, but it's going to someplace nice. So.
Yeah.
Got some pictures of it.
Good for him.
Good to go.
Yeah. Sounds like we're done.
Another one in the can.
We are wrapping up.
Well, thanks for listening. Hope you're out there playing some golf if it's not too cold.
I was gonna say you might need a bundle up. Never mind wrap up. Just bundle up. And enjoy your weekend. Get out there and knock it around a little bit. And we'll talk to you next Wednesday, folks.
See you then.
Outstanding.
Take
All
care.
right.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.